is that the most attractive men are those who like and respect women. Welcome back.
Thank you. I think there are kind of two different hypothetical case studies that would show that this isn't the case. I actually wish what I'm about to say wasn't the case.
Okay.
But we all know the example of the man who is really not a great guy, and you know, her friends are telling her like, oh, you shouldn't date this guy, but she's just so attracted to him that she's kind of hooked into that. And then the counter side, we know the kind of guys that are really nice, who are really respectful, who are buying dinners, who are getting flowers, who are doing all these things, and they're just not that attractive.
Right.
And so no matter how respectful they are, no matter how good they are, no matter how kind of nice guy they are,
right.
And that doesn't mean that there's a continuum of you have to be a bad boy, you have to be a nice guy. I think every good man should be both. You should be attractive, you should be strong, you should be like kind of masculine energy, and you should be a nice person.
Right.
But these are two different continuums. And so it's not being nice and being respectful and kind of being really polite to him is what makes you attractive. It's actually kind of irrelevant.
Okay. Let me introduce another dimension to that spectrum. I would argue that nice guys are not actually nice. They're usually being,
for sure,
they're usually being nice in a transactional way, right? It's like,
I bought you flowers, now will you like me?
yeah, let's have sex.
Yeah,
you know,
right.
and women smell that a mile away, and it's a complete turnoff, and obviously
it's creepy. Yeah.
It is very creepy.
No, given the fact that most men don't get women, bro, I'd imagine that men just want to be sweet to women because they want to be sweet to women, right? You know, in my heyday, man, I'm from the South. That's Southern hospitality, bro. You're a gentleman, all right? You open doors, you close doors, you walk on certain sides of the street when you're walking with a woman. You know what I mean? Just raised to be that way because it's just embedded in you. You're not doing that because you're trying to get some poo, right? I think that's a direct slap in the face to men out here who are just naturally inclined to want to be nice to the women that they're courting. You know what I mean? And then keeping it a bean, everything in this world is transactional to a certain extent. Scale it back to my friends, my homies and shit. They're not going to get this good version of me unless I get a good version of them. Right? It's transactional. The reason why I fuck with my bros the way that I fuck with my bros because they've given me reason. They've given me something transactionally to fuck with them, regardless if it develops organically or not. All right. So the bare bones of it, everything is transactional. But as far as this whole MO of these men out here solely doing sweet things, getting roses and buying dinner and taking women out, trying to make them feel good. They're doing it just to get some box. They're doing it just for a specific reason, right? The reason is because they like the girl. Fuck you talking? What are we talking about? But with that, I would want to know the percentage of men out here that solely do things sweet for women to get in the cheeks. How are we talking about? There's just too many men out here rocking it solo dolo that would love to be around a woman that is into them for that to be the case. Right. So yeah, I'm gonna call bullshit on that one.
I would argue that assholes are also quite transactional, right? And the only difference between the nice guy and the asshole is the nice guy is transactional and a very manipulative, here, let me buy you flowers so I can get what I want. The asshole is like, I'm just gonna say whatever I need to say to you to get what I want.
And that works, unfortunately, often enough in these kind of short-term relationships.
It works in the short term and it works with insecure women.
Right.
Those are the two circumstances that it works in. There is a third type of guy who is just not transactional.
Yeah.
And is like, this is who I am. I like you. Do you want to go out? And if she says yes, great. If she says no, great. He's going to go find somebody else.
Yeah.
Those are the most attractive men.
Right. So can we agree that your claim is false for insecure women?
Not necessarily. Because
so what did you just say then about how those kind of asshole guys is effective on insecure women?
It is effective on insecure women, but I think also just being a confident, honest man can also be effective with insecure women.
Okay, but I feel like you've already conceded that those guys are attractive to them.
Yes.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah. So now looking at the secure women, we have this third axis of how honest you are.
Right.
Which is, as we would agree, should be the most important axis of like how truthful you are if you're trying to be transactional.
And it is.
I wish it were that way.
It is. So actually, David Buss, who I'm sure you're familiar
I
with.
actually don't know who that is.
Okay. David Buss is like the godfather of sexual mating research across the world. He's done some of the largest cross-cultural studies on what men and women find attractive, what draws them to a partner. His work across 37 different cultures found that women prioritize consistently across all cultures kindness and intelligence above all of other traits in terms of long-term partners.
But the problem is that's of relationships that have already succeeded.
Right.
And so in the relationships that you say, it's, oh, he's so nice to me, he's so kind to me, he's so good to me. But she only wants those things from a man she's already attracted to begin with.
And that she knows is being nice and kind genuinely and authentically and,
Yeah.
is not just trying to please her or impress her or
For sure.
And this is the thing, is that the asshole gets mistaken for a confident man because he's not.
Nah, bro, he missing the mark on that one, man. The majority of successful relationships that go into deep waters, man, of course they're gonna say it's because he's nice and kind to me, bro, because that's what keeps him there, right? But attractive, the most attractive men are those who like and respect women. That's at the initiation of relationships. Of course, all relationships that are successful, that have gone any amount of time, that woman is attracted to that man. It's about much more than looks at that point. We pass superficial shit, but the superficial shit got you in the fucking door, bruh. And that's the issue right now, is that men can't get in the door. They can't lead through the door with just being polite and kind. That's not gonna get you nowhere, right? You gotta size up against the competition, and just being nice and kind ain't it, especially today, right? You gotta be nice and kind and with the shit, you know what I mean? To compete with all these sharks out here. So this is misleading, right? And then we talking about, that study has to do with like 33 subcultures around the fucking, we talking about the Western world, player. The Western world, player. Different ball game out here, man. That nice and kind shit will work in the 80s and 90s. Maybe a little bit 2000s and shit, bro. But no, you know what I'm saying? It's dog eat dog out this motherfucker now, bro. And this is just I don't know, an out of touch perspective, right? I don't even got to be in the dating scene to know that bro's out of touch like fuck, bro. That ain't it, dog. And bro hit the nail on the head, bro. You're talking about relationships that have already passed a certain point, so they're irrelevant to the point we're making right now. Why is it hard for men to get through the door? Because they ain't toxic enough. You know what I mean? Like, they ain't dangerous enough. They ain't mysterious enough. They too nice. Come on, man. Nice guys finish last for a reason.
Controlled by what she wants.
Well, that often is.
We got to pause there. You've been voted out.
Yeah, you could.
Nice to meet you.
How are you?
So, I don't actually disagree with what you said. When it comes to hypergamy in society, I saw you mention Myron Gaines earlier. I don't necessarily agree with everything Myron Gaines says, but what advice are you actually giving men in society that's better than what Myron Gaines gives them when it comes to combating hypergamy?
And just to clarify, by hypergamy, you mean the fact that women tend to prefer men who have more resources and more
Yes.
status. Yes. So I would say that it is true, women are generally more attracted to men who have more resources, more status. It's just a fact of life. But I would argue that you can make up a lot of that simply through character, behavior, shared values, shared life experiences, and the way you communicate with a woman.
He's clearly out of touch. He's out of touch. Not saying that he's wrong, but that will minimize hypergamy, because women are not going to just take this snapshot image of you to see what you're coming with, to see if you cross the finish line, and you know how they can leverage or benefit what you've been able to achieve. Right? That's true, but you have to acknowledge the reality, and you have to acknowledge the reality that we're in. Right? Like, if these women have already been affected by hypergamy, already been programmed by hypergamy, they've been raised on social media, constantly comparing themselves to other women and seeing what, you know, the most successful men are doing and what they're giving women and shit. All these women are being programmed by it. All these little teeny boppers are being programmed by it, right? And that affects men in every capacity, even out in the streets, going to, you know, meet and greet women, bro, right? You know, it's only a certain caliber of a man that can even approach these types of women, or women, period, bro. Right? Like, you can be sweet and, you know, be social as fuck and be comfortable with women and all that, bro. But if you don't look the par, You know what I mean? If you ain't over 6 foot, right, if your fucking shoulders ain't broad enough, right, if you ain't speaking with confidence, you know what I'm saying? And then hell, if they find out what's in your bank account, you know, it is what it is, bro. I mean, I remember one of my partners. He's still single out in these streets, bro, and he's very comfortable with women. Got no issues pulling women, bro. But his issue is finding the right women to pull. All the women he approaches are cooked, bro. He said in one city he was living, bro, every woman he came into contact with had OnlyFans. Every last one had OnlyFans. What are you supposed to do in them circumstances, bro? Right? And if they ain't got an OnlyFans, I bet you they've been thinking about getting a fucking OnlyFans. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro is entirely out of touch. You know what I'm saying? Bro hit the nail on the head, dog. Like, you may not like Myron, bro, but Myron be giving game on how to make it easier for men to go about this dating space, bro. Dating defensively, offensively as well. Like, weaponizing yourself with enough shit to cut through the bullshit. You know what I'm saying? It's like, if you do what he says to get women, you're going to get women. I don't know if you're going to get the right women, but you're going to get women. I've been out of the dating scene for years now, but you know, my bros out here singling, mingling in these streets. I hear it from y'all. I see what's I see what's going on online, right? And it all echoes the same issue, bro, right? Dating is fucking impossible these days. Not even just solely on hypergamy. There's all these other factors that make it a fucking steep hill to climb, man, bro. But to fucking sit here and say you can minimize hypergamy by just all these other intangibles, and the things he listed too are like things that you're going to develop while you're in a relationship with somebody, bro. Like sharing the same values and experiences, all that shit he was talking about, bro. All that shit has nothing to do with the initial encounter, bro. The initial encounter, putting your best foot forward, bro.
Not gonna want promiscuous women, and I like it.
And the way you communicate with a woman. Now, the men who have more resources, more status, it's just a fact of life. But I would argue that you can make up a lot of that simply through character, behavior, shared values, shared life experiences, and the way you communicate with a woman.
But not when it comes with promiscuity, right? Because like if it's the case that men want to get married, you're probably not going to want promiscuous women. And I think promiscuity is bad for men and women, but I think it's worse for women because it causes male promiscuity because of hypergamy in society.
He cooking.
A lot of these men are secularist men. They don't follow any sort of ecclesiastical authority when it comes to the way that they govern relationships. That's why you see Myron Gaines giving out advice like 100 women or 50 women or whatever his advice is. And again, I don't agree prescriptively with a lot of what he says, but I don't know that secularists actually hand out better advice than that. I think that, I don't know what you think.
My advice to men, it has been and has always been, is that you got to get out there and meet lots of women face to face. Hypergamy is not an issue if we're not filtering most of our dating options through a screen that we're swiping through every 3 seconds, right? It's like when people's attention span when it comes to filtering a mate is limited to just a handful of seconds and like the most superficial facts about them, of course they're gonna over-index on those superficial traits and those unimportant facts, right? Whereas like if you actually get face to face with women, you actually meet them, you find some that you gel with, you vibe with, that you have like good rapport with.
I don't go nowhere, but when I do go out with the bros, I be out in the streets watching them fucking move and hearing their fucking stories and seeing that shit go down, bro. Dog don't know what the fuck he's talking about. You know what I mean? This is not 1980. This is not 1990, bro. Right? You know, hyper fixated on the superficial shit or not. Take the hyper fixating away from, you know, seeing people's statistics on social media, bro. Like what I just said, dog. Like women are progressing at such a fucking fast pace. Men are falling off, dog. And how do you think that affects hypergamy? You know what I mean? Right? If women are independent, are more single household owners than men, they're more payroll employees than men, graduating at higher rates than men. You know, progressing in every education and financial metric over men. How the fuck do you think that's gonna affect men and women? The balance is off. And how the fuck do you think that affects hypergamy if women are naturally inclined to seek someone better? They're gonna seek someone better than what the fuck they got, which where's that leave all these other men? invisible, lost in the sauce, bro. Can't ignore that. You know, hypergamy is fucking men up right now. But we're just supposed to, meet them and talk to them. No, player, you got to come with the resume. You got to come with the prerequisites, fam, which involves men going out here and leveling up in any form, in any way that they can, right? Like, there's no room to be just basic anymore. It is what it is. You just can't be a basic dude anymore to be competitive, especially if you live in one of these little, these popular cities and shit, bro. You live in middle America somewhere, you got a better chance, dog. But you out here competing with the big dogs, bro, you don't stand a fucking chance. You don't stand a fucking chance, dog. And then, like bro said, with the promiscuity involved too, so all these women are having all these other experiences with all types of men, successful men. You don't stand a fucking chance with just trying to meet them. Okay, I'm gonna meet you, and then they gonna swipe to the left in public, bro, or whatever it is. What's the one? Swipe left is not interested. Swipe right. So they gonna swipe to the left publicly. I ain't interested, right? You ain't tall enough. You ain't got the right clothes on. You don't speak to me the way I need you to speak to me. You ain't funny enough. You feel me? Like you cooked. For regular Joe Schmo, you're fucking cooked. You know what I mean? So bro's talking out his whole ass, bro. Like the shit he's talking about is shit that is important in the development of the relationship when the decision has already been made by that woman to be with that man, and that man has made a decision to be with that woman. But at the initiation of it, bro, the shit that makes men attractive is what's most important, bro. That's your attributes, what you do for a living, how tall you is, what kind of car you drive, what have you attained? How can you compete with my brainwashed perspective from social media, bro? Because 9 times out of 10, these women are gonna be cooked, bro. They're gonna be cooked. Bro is living in the past. You're not living in 2026, right? So this is all things men need to be conscious of, bro. Yeah. And the best thing you can do is just focus on yourself, right? Gain enough confidence in yourself as a man where you ain't worried about bitches. You know what you're worthy of. You know what you bring to the table. And you know what it'll be like if you were able to give that to a woman. It'll flip your whole shit upside down. You're not worried about a bitch. You ain't worried about a bitch. I know who I am. I know what I offer. I know what I've done. Bro, but a man that ain't done the work shouldn't be out here trying to shoot any fucking way. And don't be getting mad that you getting swiped left in your face. Bro, you out here, you done the work. You got some confidence about yourself, right? You good, but that's really the main issue. Men are lacking hella confidence, and you see why men are lacking confidence, bro. What is there for an average man to be confident about, right? So focus on yourself, King. Focus on yourself. And with that, pull up to my online community, bro. Network of bros. We dive into just that and everything else, man. Fitness, finance, mentality, your mindset, women, all that, bro. This is the agenda, bro. To get men great. To get men great. Yeah, but I don't know about this whole interview, bro, but this was very telling, dog. That bro's out of touch, man. Out of touch.